Hi, it's Dave Michels from TalkingPointz and with Dave Danto. Hello, David. How are you?
Greetings, doing fine, getting through this busy month of October.
So, a very busy month, and one of the first events this month was Zoomtopia, one of my favorite events to go to, partly because of the big musical act and everything. But this year it was mostly a virtual event.
Yeah, it was less people in person. I was virtual as well. We were just doing too many things to be able to break away there for that many days. But there was an online component that sometimes had some technical difficulties with the online component, but it was there. A lot of people attended, and it was an interesting event because they made some announcements. But well, why don't you go into the announcements? Because
Okay, so lots of announcements. I mean, it's always a great event. Everybody gets together. You got the big expo hall and everything. So a virtual event is inherently a different event, and also the announcements this year were inherently different. We'll kind of recap those here in a second, but Zoomtopia was just so much different this year, and so I thought it would be a good idea to do our own Zoomtopia, which we'll explain here a little more. But let's go recap. Let's see, a lot on Zoom AI Companion or Zoom ZAIC, Zoom AIC 2.0,
2.0.
2.0, which is kind of interesting because AI is moving so fast, and so we're only on 2.0, what, 2 years or I guess a year into it, and so I'm wondering when 5.0 is going to be here, but that was one of the big announcements. I got a lot of time on stage.
Yeah, and they made a point that it's 35%, whatever percent better than what else is out there because they're aggregating multiple sources, and it's really, AI is just, better. They're better, stronger, faster, does your detergent better, cleans better, whatever.
They came through on my prediction because they said that Zoom AIC. I just it's easier when you're speaking just to say Zoom AI Companion. But they came through. They said that was going to be free, and I thought they were going to keep it free and make it kind of a freemium model, and they did that. They basically came out with what they call custom AI add-ons, and so they're a way of upselling for additional use cases. And I think that was good. That was good.
Hmm? Yeah, well, they have their custom add-ons now as part of it, so that you can kind of tailor it a little bit of a small language model tied into their large language models, which was kind of really interesting. I was very interested when they came up with the automated Zoom tasks. They look at your email and your notes and everything else, and all of a sudden they're building a task list for you. So now we are serving the AI gods. They're telling us what to do.
That one has me a little worried, to be honest. But I'm anxious to try it out. But it has me just a little worried. I have a feeling my task list that it compiles is going to be a lot bigger than the one that I've already, because I have a mental capacity to discard many tasks very very quickly and very efficiently, and I'm not sure I want something to override those that feature I have.
You don't want the Colossus Forbin project. You don't want the AI overlords telling you what to do. But there was AI Zoom virtual agents, and there was AI Companion in WorkVivo, and there was AI Companion in ServiceNow, and I'm leaving out there was probably AI Companion and AI Companion and AI Companion, and I'm starting to get a pattern here. I don't know if you are as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. Zoomtopia 24 was brought to you by the letters A and I. There's no question about that. That was a big theme there, which is why I felt that we should do this video, because I think we should do our own, I'm going to call this, fake Zoomtopia announcements that maybe it's a little more balanced, maybe not so much AI. Maybe we'll have some AI in our fake announcements, but maybe a little more diversity.
What did fake Zoomtopia have in it?
Well, of course, it started off with a fantastic keynote, and we all look forward to Eric's keynotes. He came out, everyone loves Eric, and of course, no surprise because we follow Zoom closely. One of the key messages of his keynote was this work happy thing, and so Meet Happy worked well for years. Turns out there's more to work than meetings, not a whole lot more, but a little more, a little more. And so this Work Happy, and they've rebranded the Zoom Suite to Workplace, and so all consistent messaging, and he did a fantastic keynote, really really good.
I was most impressed with his integrity. While everybody in the UC industry is talking about Gen AI and Gen AI and Gen AI and companions and co-pilots and all that other stuff, he came right out and said, you know what? We're not going to fall into this Gen AI trap. We're going to use computer intelligence to make meetings better. And then he had that announcement of AIM, AI meeting execution, which I really loved. And, it's interesting. I've got to see it work. He had a demo on stage that he did himself. But the idea is when you get invited to a meeting, no matter who the participants are, and no matter who's playing with it, all of a sudden it's going to be converted to a Zoom meeting everywhere. Everybody will be on the
Yeah,
same
I
platform with
don't
the
think
same
TechStuff was
experience.
pretty happy about this one announcement. But the way you solve interoperability is just to get rid of all the other solutions. So if you could just actually monitor your calendar and find those links and just change everything, that's a pretty good use of AI. I mean,
That's
it's good.
that's computer intelligence not summarizing our meeting, but making better meetings. So I thought, again, Eric showed a lot of integrity doing that.
And so let's get into some of the bigger announcements here. Why don't you talk a little bit about the even smarter gallery?
Yeah, no, even Smarter Gallery I thought was very unique because people again have been talking about how we can have computer intelligence help us. And with even Smarter Gallery, every camera in a meeting room is able to be accessed for the meeting. I'm sure there are permissions. I'm sure they're going to have to work this out, but the demo showed the cameras on everybody's notebooks and laptops and on their personal phones. The intelligence sitting in the computer will be able to aggregate all of those cameras, almost like, the bridge of the Starship Enterprise. You never saw a camera. The sensors were all over the place. It's going to bring it together and always give you the best shot. So it no longer has to be just cameras in the front of the room. It's going to be every camera in the room. That was really smart. And that's definitely the future change that I would like to see in some of our meeting rooms and collaboration.
It was a good announcement. And so, yeah, the even smarter gallery announcement from Zoom was very innovative. I think they're even tapping into people's personal SLRs and other cameras. I mean, they're really covering every camera. I think the announcement that fake Zoomtopia 2024 is really going to be remembered for a long time is really, I think it's the biggest announcement of all, is Zoom acquires Neat. I didn't see this one coming at all. And it's like, wow, this is great. And when Eric and Janine came out on stage together and back together, getting the band back together, and Eric made that comment about, we've held this CMO position open for you since you've left. I had a tear. I mean, I thought this was a great move. Great
Yeah,
move.
it's such a great fit that Zoom is now going to be extending their brilliance into the hardware space, and the brilliant engineers at Neat are now going to be extending their intelligence into the Zoom team. It really just did seem like a natural fit, and everybody said, "Well, why didn't we think of that before?" It just kind of makes sense.
Well, it's changed. The market's changed, right? And so, you got HP that acquired Poly, and so that's, a much bigger company now. You've got Cisco going out to that Microsoft base. And so, the hardware story isn't just about small companies anymore. And so Zoom grabbing Neat made a lot of sense. And then it almost got lost in there, but Neat made a really interesting announcement before this at Zoomtopia, at fake Zoomtopia, that almost got lost because of the acquisition news. But did you see that they announced the Neat Iron?
I did. It was very interesting. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to look, but how it's going to work, but it does seem very interesting.
So they announced the Neat board, and the Neat board has been the old Neat board has been a fantastic product, and now they've announced the new Neat board, and the Neat Iron goes with the board. So the iron and board, very very smart combination. It's really good for getting the wrinkles out of your plans and smoothing things over with your colleagues. Um, Great for pressing matters. So I think the Neat Iron is going to be a hit.
Yeah, well, we have to see how it actually works in real time, but it's certainly a terrific announcement. And again, it's that application of computer intelligence, not just giving us, the same summaries that everybody else is, but now it's actually fixing and ironing out the problem. So, again, kudos to them for really taking the lead there.
Let's see. I'm not sure what number we're on, third, fourth. I'm not sure where we're at. There's so much coming out of Big Zoomtopia. Um, they expanded workspace reservations, and this whole hybrid work environment we're in makes a lot of sense. They expanded workplace reservations to do home place reservations. Lets you reserve space at home, which can be a problem for a lot of people. If you need to book that kitchen table and your kid is there doing homework, so now, well, if you want to use the kitchen table, so now you can book the kitchen table, And just like workplace reservations at the office, you could also, trying to keep your team together and you want to sit together or stuff like that. You could also, book dinner, your whole family to be at the same table. I mean, I think it's just fantastic thinking, really bridges that hybrid office gap. And so being able to put QR codes on all your different places where you work, and you could just scan your app when you moved, and everything will just work. I think this is really good. Another bonus here. Is that workplace and home place reservations is also adding fireplace support. This is kind of a new take on hot desking, but there's no
Very hot
reason.
desking.
Every video meeting really should be a fireside chat, and now it can be.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. But you had mentioned early on, and we had both written about this idea that Zoom and Mitel coming together was going to be a big deal. And now with fake Zoomtopia this year, they've announced it's an even bigger deal, right?
Zoom announced that they're going to start supporting the Mitel phones, but they're going to use the MyNet protocol. Almost everybody's using the SIP protocol. When I say almost everybody, Microsoft uses a proprietary phone and Cisco uses a proprietary phone. So now Zoom is going to have a proprietary phone. And I think that makes a lot of sense. You have more options, more capabilities, more display information. And so it's an expansion of that partnership they announced a few months ago with Mitel and Zoom. And this makes a lot of sense. And Mitel's got those endpoints with built-in headsets, and they've got those ones with they got the deck phones. I think it's going to be a good move for Zoom.
The next announcement, though, this is one of my favorites. You have everybody in the UC space so incredibly narrowly, in my opinion, stupidly focused on insights, but the insights aren't really helping. I got a meeting summary the other day that said everybody was on the call and talked about widgets and everybody liked it. And honestly, I was on that call. I knew that. I didn't need to know that. I needed to know the numbers, but it didn't tell me. So the insights they're talking about is, Zoom Pimpy. It's Zoom a meeting post-meeting productivity insights, which I thought was an amazing way of taking the insights into a physical space. And if I understand the way they described it, and they're coming out with it later in the year, it's two different things. It produces automated printed post-it notes that stack on people's desks. The first one is it stacks on managers' desks. So every time that a meeting takes place that could have been a call or an email, it prints one of these red stickers out and puts it on the manager's desk. And then you walk by the manager's desk and you see the stack of stickers and you realize, you know what? We should be having less meetings and doing more emails and more notes. But the one that I really like the black ones that it prints out, because it's printing out stickers for the company's C-suite to explain every meeting that took place that didn't need to be in one office, that people were able to connect and be productive and do exactly what they needed to do from wherever they were. And as the CEO starts to get all these black post-it notes piling up on his desk, maybe they'll finally realize that there is no need for returning to the office in most cases, that those meetings were productive.
And one of the hidden features of what you're describing is that the sticky notes have the sticky doesn't last very long. It's like a 2 or 3 day thing because a lot of the executives don't have a long attention span. So they just kind of fall off. I thought that was kind of, self-sustaining system. I think that was very, very clever.
Tangible insights. I love tangible insights, especially for people that are completely married to this idea of everybody needs to be in the same space. I love that.
And then the last announcement that it wouldn't be a complete event if it didn't have a contact center solution as well. And this is really good. It's called the Zoom Contact Center AI Frustration Bot. And we've heard this before, right? Almost everybody is really trying to figure out how to keep their agents happier. They want to retain their agents. They want to improve job satisfaction. They want their agents to be appreciated and respected. They want to, and there's different ways of going about that, but this is a fairly unique one. It's using an advanced AI algorithm to monitor the conversation with the or to engage with the customer, and monitors and measures their frustration level, and it mimics kind of an old IVR that could be very frustrating. And through sentiment analysis and other feedbacks, it gets to the peak level. It gets the customer peak frustration, extremely frustrated, just about when they're ready to get hang up or change vendors or whatever, and then automatically transfers you to a live agent, and you really appreciate that agent more than ever before. And and so the agent feels good, the customer feels good, and it's really using AI, I think, the way it should be used. Well, that wraps up all the big news from Fake Zoomtopia 24. I think it's going to be a big event in 25.
Yep. Thanks for watching, and we'll give you that coverage when it happens.